Hello, space geeks. Welcome back. You must have heard about NASA's new venture, the Artemis Program. It is a program to send humans back to the moon, which will be the first time since Apollo's 17 mission launched in 1972. Artemis aims to establish a human presence on the moon, which will facilitate the exploration of Mars and other space programs. Considering the travel and cosmological elements they have to endure, we all know how expensive spaceships are. A lot has been said about them, but let's talk about a lesser-known element that is just as important in space missions led by humans, the spacesuits. The first ever spacesuit was deployed by Neil Armstrong when he took one giant leap onto the moon. Back in the 1960s, the suit cost about $100,000, about $670,000 today, factoring in the inflation. While the suit proved effective for Neil Armstrong, the requirements for Artemis missions are very different, and so are their prices. Since 2009, more than $200 million have been invested in spacesuit development. However, despite such a hefty investment, NASA still lacks a new fleet of spacesuits. In fact, spacesuits are among the primary reasons causing delays in the Artemis program. It makes one wonder why it is taking so long and why the spacesuits are so expensive. Kathleen Lewis, curator of internal space programs and spacesuits at the Smithsonian Institution's National Air and Space Museum, answers our curious minds. Let's find out more in this video. Why does NASA need new spacesuits? NASA developed about 18 suits for Space Shuttle program in 1974, and most have exhausted their 15-year life design. One of these suits was used only for regulatory purposes, whereas another was destroyed during testing. Two other suits were lost in the Challenger disaster in 1986, and two others were lost to the Columbia disaster in 2003. Another spacesuit was destroyed relatively recently in Unit 17 during SpaceX Seven's cargo mission tragedy. The estimated value of the loss is around $250 million, leaving NASA with only 11 suits. As mentioned earlier, some of them have exhausted their lifetime. In simple terms, NASA has only 4 suits at this moment that are flight-ready for International Space Station. Those remaining suits are inadequate for the Artemis program because the requirements and the environments they have to endure are different. It must be mentioned that NASA postponed the first all-female spacewalk because of the unavailability of spacesuits. In a nutshell, NASA does not have enough spacesuits to deploy them at International Space Station, let alone use them on the Artemis mission. Hence, it has invested about $250 million in developing the XEMU suit for the Artemis program. Since NASA has enough time and resources to design the new suits from scratch, it has made them even better by making them more mobile, packing them with better batteries, and improving visibility, enabling longer spacewalks needed for the Artemis mission. What makes the spacesuits so expensive? In the words of Kathleen Lewis, spacesuits are so expensive because they are complex, human-shaped spacecraft. What she wants to explain is essential. The spacesuit has to endure the same problems as the spacecraft. It has to keep a human being safe and sound in the hostile and unforgiving space environment. Spacesuit has to protect an astronaut from the vacuum of space, harmful radiations from the sun, and other cosmological bodies. Spacesuit is the only thing that protects astronauts against fast-traveling particles with a speed of about 18,000 miles per hour. To put things in perspective, an average bullet travels at the rate of 1,700 miles per hour. In addition to protecting astronauts from extravehicular hazards, spacesuits must provide them with oxygen and equipment to communicate with their peers. Now imagine putting all of it in a suit designed to walk on the moon and facilitate surveillance and other activities assigned to a particular astronaut. In addition to the actual suit, a lot of resources must be put into the research to identify the feasible design and material needed. It puts things in perspective as to why precisely these suits are so expensive and what is taking so long to design them. Let me tell you some features of these spacesuits for a better understanding. Fast-moving sharp particles. Safety is the top priority while designing a spacesuit, but the factors threatening safety on the lunar surface have changed drastically. It was believed that the greatest danger with lunar soil a decade ago was that it would not support the weight of a lander or the astronaut it supports. However, now we know that the greatest danger on the lunar surface is those fast-moving particles that can penetrate the suit. So the new suits are better equipped to endure that abuse and offer a suite of features to prevent inhaling dust and other contaminants that can compromise the life support system in suits. Temperature. The temperature on the moon is a sort of roller coaster ride. It goes from one extreme to another as the sun rises and sets. During the daytime, the temperature on the moon can reach as high as 250 degrees Fahrenheit, more than the boiling temperature of water at sea level. In contrast, the temperature at night touches negative 208 degrees Fahrenheit, about negative 130 degrees in centigrade. Spacesuits are designed to withstand both extremes by using pressure garments. The pressure garment shields the astronauts from extreme temperatures, reduced pressure, micrometeoroids, and radiations from cosmological bodies. It also enables better mobility, far more improved than previous generations, which demanded astronauts to bunny hop on lunar surfaces. Better mobility. Mobility is one of the primary focuses of NASA this time around with spacesuits. The new design has a lower torso made from advanced material and uses joint bearing, enabling better bending and rotation at the hips. It also improves knee bending, and hike-style boots with flexible soles make the suit more walkable. The upper part of the suit has also been upgraded by adding shoulder placement to make the arms freer and allows astronauts to lift the objects over their head and reach across their bodies. The new generation suits also have rear entry hatches to allow astronauts to get into the suit from the back, allowing the shoulder to remain close together, which provides a better fit and reduces shoulder injuries. It also makes the suit more versatile and fits various sizes. Helmet. The helmet of the new spacesuits is designed to shield the astronauts from all space hazards and enable seamless communication with other crew members and those managing the operation from headquarters. It features a quick-swap protective visor to shield astronauts from wear and tear without compromising visibility. Also, the helmet has multiple voice-embedded microphones that turn on when astronauts speak and automatically turn off when not in use. It makes them power efficient, another major objective NASA wants to achieve with these new spacesuits. Portable life support system. Needless to say, a portable life support system is essentially what enables astronauts to walk on the moon and other objects in space. The new spacesuits use a 300-pound mobile life support system that houses batteries, breathable air, and pumps to eliminate carbon dioxide and other toxic gases accumulating in the spacesuit. This new system also has dozens of sensors to detect critical levels of several elements. It pops up warnings when levels of a component fall below or go above the normal limits. Furthermore, the portable life support system can also anticipate system failure, which, along with the duplication of plumbing and electronic systems, improves the overall safety of astronauts during spacewalks. Upon detecting these warnings, astronauts can reach the safety of their bases and fix the problem in the suit from there. What is causing the delay? Now that you understand the complexities of a spacesuit, it is somewhat easier to understand what is causing the delay. However, the wait is over soon as NASA has sought help from the U.S. commercial space industry. NASA has awarded the contract to Axiom Space to create new spacesuits. According to various media reports, the contract has been closed for $228 million, including research and development costs. Experts argue that there is an absolute urgency because the components used to keep the suit healthy are dwindling. For example, spacesuits use a heritage design for carbon dioxide sensors, which are no longer produced. Most vendors who used to make them have wrapped their businesses. It is just one example. Many other similar ones warrant private contractors to speed up the pace and design the spacesuits before it becomes too challenging. That is all for this video. We hope NASA gets these suits soon enough and we witness astronauts stepping and setting a base on the moon again in our lifetime. Thank you for tuning in. Stay connected with the channel to learn more updates. We will see you at the next one.